how long does it take to build a new habit? 21 days? 30 days? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how many days you need to build a new habit to lose weight for the very last time. To break a habit, research suggests it may take anywhere from 18 days to 280 days. The best way to break a habit are by identifying your triggers, altering your environment, finding an accountability partner, or using a reward system. How often a habit needs to be repeated to become automatically or mindless, and how often do we need to do a particular habit before it becomes ingrained in our brain? Both are great questions, and you'll often hear people throw things around. It takes 21 days to build a new habit. One of the places that this came from is a man named Maxwell Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon back in the 50s and 60s. He noticed something interesting when he was working with his patients who lost an arm or needed some facial reconstruction. He found that it took about 21 days to get used to the new body or the new limb. For a little while, they would get a nose job and look in the mirror and think that they looked different people. Still, eventually, after 21 days or about 3 weeks, they would start to get used to what they were saying and what they were seeing. They would become a little bit more comfortable with the change about these discoveries. And he said it takes 21 days for someone to get used to the new change becoming ingrained in the brain and normal. There you go. Maxwell wrote a book called Cybernetics, which became a huge hit. Like a long telephone game, people started repeating this in different areas and groups, and eventually became 21 days to build a new habit. Well, thankfully, there's been some research done on this to figure out how long it takes to build a new habit. And it was done by a lady named Philippa Leveler, a researcher and scientist at the University of College in London, and her colleagues. And what they found is, well, 21 days could work, but really depends on the habit. In this situation, where it probably isn't a surprise to your behavior, right? Behaviors are dependent. Well, they found it might only take 18 to 20 days to build a habit, making it routine and repeatable for simple habits like drinking a glass of water at lunch. For more difficult habits like running a 5-kilometer run after work each day, well, that could take 8, 9, 10 months before it becomes ingrained. But on average, they found about 66 days is when it takes for a new habit to build. It's like to keep the expectations in my mind. Okay, this is going to be a journey. I'm okay with this. It's going to take months before it starts to feel mindless and automatic, before it starts like routine and consistent. The researchers discovered that every habit, whether it's something easy or more challenging, follows the very same trajectory for a very similar pattern. It all starts with the frequency, the reps, the repetitions, the repeating, and it starts to move closer to what they term the automatic line. Eventually it gets to some point where it's about as automatic as it becomes. You cross that threshold where the behavior becomes mindless, and it's going to be once and for all. Once you reach that point, it just becomes continuing the process already done. Losing weight, keeping it off, same process. You don't have to think about it as much as you allocate less brain power. You basically shift how to feel about that behavior and becomes automatic. Yes. Now there's one more bit of exciting information from this research that we can take away, being 66 days to form a new habit. They found, the researchers, it does not actually hurt the long-term outcome if you miss on any given day. For example, it doesn't change whether the habit becomes automatic or ingrained. Is essential because it helps us to abandon that silly other concept and myth, the all or nothing mindset. The idea that we have to be perfect and stick to a habit to do it 50 times in a row. It becomes ingrained in me that actually it's not true. It's not what the researchers found. Please keep in mind that habits need to be three things to be ingrained in our lives forever. They need to be repeated, they need to be resilient, and they need to be reinforced. To achieve those three things, repeat, resilience, and reinforcing, we can keep it in mind of the research have done by these scientists. We need to repeat things consistently and move towards habit being automatic. We need to be resilient, so if we miss once, it doesn't matter over the long term, we can still build automatic behaviors. It needs to be reinforcing. Our habits need to build upon each other, built upon themselves. Reinforce the identity, the type of person we want to become, to continue to believe in the change we're making. The hidden forces that shape human behavior and the different influences we often don't even notice shapes the habits and actions. Please think about this. Each one can be repeated, resilience, and reinforced, how it collects this power that builds upon our daily habit every single day. So there you go, the 21-day myth of building a new habit is gone. 66 days is coming in, but really, we are asking the wrong question. How many days does it take to build a habit? It's not really important because it depends on the type of habit and how long you have had that old habit for. The real question is, how many times, how many reps, how many times do we need to repeat that behavior until it's ingrained in our brain and becomes automatic and we don't know that it's happening? Like me, moving my hand happens automatically. Now, if you got great value from this video, hit the subscribe button, like button, share button, leave a comment below. Let's get our community happening. Let's empower each other and let's help each other, because at the end of the day, losing weight for the very last time or keeping the weight off or any goal that you have, it all comes down to your habits. It all comes down to not how many days, but how often you do that new behavior, repeat. My next video, I can't wait to do this one, we'll talk about how do we kick the old habits and bring in the new habits. And until next time, thank you for watching, and make it a habit and keep on repeating and watching these videos. Thank you.